right there where the top goes.
All right, Nolan, do you want to share your screen? Do you have something in mind to have up front?
Um, I do have something to go off of.
I was gonna say if not, this is what the stream can see for right now. It would just be smart goals.
You see my screen?
Yes, I do. It's okay.
Not close enough?
Yeah, can you control scroll wheel in? It's just kind of scuffed because I'm the one who's streaming, and I'd be watching. It's a stream of a stream, but it's okay. Can you hit the view button? Hit view up top.
Oh, I'm like using the right thing. See you.
Hit view and then hit like 125% or 150%. There you go. Cool, you're good now.
Good.
Yeah, good. Go ahead. This is the first live stream for fitness related content. Um, there are many more to come, but fitness is a big passion and pillar for both of our lives for many years. Um, same. We can do the same introductions for both of ours. Nolan, you can start with what got you into fitness and what you've done historically.
Yeah, I think the trope of the gym bro getting broken up with and getting on the sauce and going to the gym, hitting the weights every day, is not very. It's kind of like an outline of my fitness journey. I kind of was bringing myself out of a rough patch and kind of coming into my own realizations about my life and kind of wanting to get some agency. So I think the first step that I used to employ some of that was to take responsibility for my health. And so one of the ways that I started to do that was I started to go to the gym. And I've been doing that for a little over 2 years now. I think about 2 years and 1 or 2 months since I bought a membership at LA Fitness and started watching YouTube related content about working out, bodybuilding, um, just a lot of different avenues of fitness. I think um, it's definitely been um, the most important thing I've done for my health, especially since it's become such a big part of my life. So I think it's definitely been a great thing that I've taken care of and will continue to do for the future. and I just want to help other people do that as well because it's brought so much joy and it's brought so much health for me and
All right, back up. Did you work out? Did you ever work out before you, you know, in your youth? You play any sports? Were you ever athletic really before? You
yeah,
track, football, anything like that?
yeah, I was a very athletic kid. I stopped playing football in about seventh grade when they started playing in middle school. I played all sorts of sports: baseball, soccer, basketball. Every time they had rec sports, I would do them. But I never really took care of my health. After seventh, eighth grade, I just kind of packed on the weight and
So you're
um,
just skinny fat, basically all through high school, like most
yeah,
people.
I was skinny fat pretty much my entire life. After eighth grade and up until I was 19, and then once I started working out, I lost about 15 pounds and got down to um, a more muscular frame that was took about 5 months to drop about 15 pounds, convert some of that into muscle as well.
Cool. Yeah, I'd say that definitely a lot of people need some sort of first. I don't know if it's like negative interaction to start their journey through fitness. A lot of people, there are some rare people who just care about their health to start out with from a young age, or just like really enjoy picking up heavy objects and putting them back down. But that's very few and far between. Um, for me, my fitness journey started when I was about 13, and it started very young, and that was because I just had really bad acne. Like from a young age, I wanted to just be like bigger, and stronger because I cared about sports, and I just had like I had insecurity where I think a lot of younger kids just don't have that same insecurity, don't have that reason, and whereas like you had a reason later on in your life to have you had the stimulus later on in your life where I had it very early. Like I recognized younger as like I need to do something to differentiate myself, or I'm not gonna have you know the same attention from females or anything. And so for me, I mostly trained for running. I did like track. I did track for 4 years, football for 4 years. I was very much like football, basketball, track. Never was really great at basketball, but I played multiple sports. Loved weightlifting, all that stuff, but I never really took any of it seriously. Um, and it, the discipline that you get out of it is it just transfers to so many facets of your life, um, that you don't recognize it as you start to train.
Yeah, just like the way in which you start training is kind of you come out of a realization of something in your life.
Yeah.
The fitness journey facilitates you doing that in every other area of your life where
Yeah,
you're
I
not
mean,
already
you
thinking
don't
about
even
that.
realize. I didn't realize when I was 13. I wasn't actively thinking, I have acne, I need to start training. I was just like, oh, I like sports. I should probably put on some muscle. And I look back now and I'm like, I was really insecure and I was really in a bad mental state. And it's just it was an escape. It was a way to output stress when I had a lot of stress inputs. And it was something that every day I was putting all of my energy into something and I was getting something out. It is something that was building my character little by little. There's a lot of sayings, but I was putting my all into something and I was getting my all back out. And then after a year of 2 years of doing it, and you're looking at yourself every day in the mirror, you just kind of start to not be able to recognize yourself, or you start to transform into something, and you can start to be proud of something. Um, you start to build. Uh, you start to build a physique that you're really proud of. You start to transform from a young boy into a man, and it 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 becomes hard to believe that you're the same person even. Um,
Yeah, you recognize the amount of hard work you've put into yourself because it definitely is like one of the purest forms of
you work for yeah.
recognizing, yeah, what you're working for, like getting attainable results. Like there are measurable steps and
There are no shortcuts there unless
no,
you are on the sauce. You work for every dollar you get. This is a minimum wage job. Bodybuilding, going and training every day is is the minimum wage job that nobody wants to do because the benefits are are hidden at first. And then once you break that barrier, it becomes the executive level C-suite job that everyone wishes they had. Once you start to recognize the cognitive and mental benefits, you you are so happy you broke the mental barrier of going to the gym, getting over your own insecurities, and you recognize that the training, it's just people always say fitness is like a journey. Training is one part of it. The results are one part of it. That's why I don't even really care about my physique anymore. it the mental conquest of me going and doing it was the biggest part of it. People always say too it's like running a marathon as well. It's not so much that you actually physically did it. It's you mentally conquered the 26 miles. It's it's just such a it seems like such an unbeatable accomplishment. And then once you do it, you almost cage your consciousness. It 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 puts life into perspective. That's how I thought about it when I was younger. It just puts life into perspective, and you can start to translate that into all other goals in life, and you start to really just become more productive. You start to care less about things that are meaningless or just drain you, where you would, spend more energy or, you know, devalue yourself. But that's why that's a little backstory between um the reason the the reason we're setting out behind well-rounded fitness. There's multiple programs. All of them are going to be released for uh, for human consumption.
mhm,
it's it's a it's something. Fitness is an industry where there's a lot of really bad information and really challenging barriers. And I think Nolan could probably speak on this as he's more in the know right now of the influencers that he watches, but he's the one who crafted this spreadsheet too.
yeah, I think the ways social media is presented for the fitness industry is very misleading in the sense that the people that get the most amount of views and have the most amount of followers and grab the most attention aren't the ones that I would ever follow, I would ever take advice from. Um, they do things that I would consider um, contradictory to my health, and also as a natural lifter or someone who does fitness in a certain way where it only benefits their health, it doesn't really align with those goals that I've set for myself.
Yeah, totally agree. You want to walk them through smart goals and the game plan?
Sure.
Take them through it.
So, one of the biggest things when you're starting out to set a goal is the why. I think I can just speak briefly on kind of my experience with asking myself this question. I think part of my fitness journey was coming out of an environment that was very hostile to my health, whether it was emotional, physical, or mental. Once you set yourself up to be in an environment, um, like I said right here, environment does not play a factor. I think your environment is 100% correlated with how you can position yourself to be successful with your goals. So you need to, like in my case, I um, got myself a new job, got myself a new place. I set myself up to be successful. And once I was able to do that and was in a good mental place, I was able to set new SMART goals for myself where there is no barrier between me making specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, timely goals and me completing them. The only responsibility is for me to set SMART goals and complete them.
Yeah, just have
So,
discipline.
yeah, discipline.
Discipline is
Hey,
the key. There's no excuse. Um, a lot of people confuse discipline and motivation. I think that is the biggest misnomer in all of fitness is that, Nolan Shirley is the most motivated individual because he goes to the gym 5 days a week and he maybe misses 1 day a week out of, you know, 30, 30 or 40 weeks, or there's 52 weeks in a year, and in those 52 weeks he'll maybe miss 10 training
give
days.
give a month for illness
Yeah, give a month for
and
illness, but
injury.
he'll maybe miss 10 days in a whole training split. And it's not because he is training for an IFBB pro show and he is trying to be the most jacked man in the entire world, but it has to do with discipline because you recognize the benefit for your health. You recognize what obesity does to your body, and you don't want to fall victim to the comfort zone, to saying, well, what does missing one training session do? What does missing, you know, just fall into the rhythm of, oh, well, I can miss one session, I'm already, I'm already in shape. Who cares to just miss a couple sessions? Because the second you get that level of I'm complacent, like I'm healthy, you you miss the whole point of fitness, which is to continuously improve upon yourself in whatever way. And it doesn't mean, continuously I got to lift heavier and heavier and get bigger and bigger, but it means to improve on yourself to whatever your SMART goals are. And so, like, for me, I don't particularly lift weights all the time, but I like running and biking. So for me that would mean continuously showing up every day and going every day and trying to beat my times. And if I don't beat my times, I don't beat myself up about it. But what I do beat myself up for is not showing up. You know, you only lose. The only person you can lose to is yourself. You're not at a competition with anybody in this race.
Yeah, I think building upon not being in any competition with someone else, what I kind of described here, doing what you have to do and not what you enjoy. Um, I mean, you don't particularly enjoy lifting heavy weights all the time, so you set yourself up to achieve your SMART goals by building your goal around something you enjoy.
Exactly.
Something you enjoy doing that is centered around something physical, something that is cardiovascular, something that is related to hypertrophy, something related to
And there's so many options
an activity that you
nowadays.
like doing.
There's so
Of
many
course.
options. We've tried things like hot yoga, cycle bar. I mean, you can there are a plethora of bizarre um, opportunities for fitness. You do not have to go do bench press. There's you don't have to go do a traditional Arnold workout, bodybuilder style, go lift heavy weights. You can get a great workout, and there's a lot of places trying to capitalize on that space too. So the whole thing is just get out there and try. A lot of people though, they'll say, I won't like that, I wouldn't do it. You shouldn't write these places off too. They're pretty fun. We went and did hot yoga. It's actually really, really fun.
Great for breathing, strengthening
Breathing,
muscles
stretching. You
in
can get
stretch
deep. You can get a
positions.
deep stretch in hot yoga. You get relaxed.
Kind of talking through the SMART goals a little more, I think being very specific and also achievable, it like we said, it's important to set yourself up in an environment mentally and also in a place that you enjoy to kind of set yourself up for success. It's it's your responsibility, and I think that comes along with the discipline of planning to make your fitness journey one that you won't feel like it's a detriment to your health, and also you feel like you're pushing yourself towards something that is measurable and also relevant to what your goals are. And it timely can refer to many things. I think off the top of my head, it kind of how would you incorporate that into your schedule? What kind of time do you have on your hands to go out and do something that you enjoy?
Yeah, and also
Uh,
just what timeline do you want to achieve it by? Like my context for timeline, like timely would be you have to set a date for yourself. So
mm-hmm.
specific would be I want to lose 10 pounds. You know, achieve like the achievable part of that, specific would be like I want to lose weight. Achievable achievable is the hard part of that where it's like, well, what's achievable? It's like, I don't know, 10 pounds. It's like measurable. It's like well, how do you measure that? It's like very obvious, on a scale. It's like oh, you spelled relevant wrong. Um, did you? Is it another E?
I
Is
don't
it an
know.
A?
I don't know.
It's RELEVANT.
Oh yeah, it is wrong.
Boom. Spelling God coming in clutch. And then timely would just be more specific to you wanna have this done by a specific date. And I think in fitness, it's very important to not let time just fly by and say, I wanna I wanna have, you know, I personally I don't think like setting a weight goal is good for yourself, but like for me, I wanna run a 7 minute mile. I'm at like a 7 minute 30 minute mile right now. It's like I've run under a 7 minute mile many, many times in my life. I'm just out of shape right now. It's like, okay, when do I want to do it by? It's like, well, if I continue to train, I want to have that done in 2.5 weeks. And it's like, how am I going to do that? It's like, well, I'm going to start by running like my current training split. I'd start by setting a training split based on SMART goals, and you can start to drill down using this pipeline. You can think of SMART as a funnel to get down to what you really need to do. Yeah.
I think achievable in this case
Look, Nolan,
would
you could look at my stream. This is the framework. Oops.
If I stop presenting, I can't see it.
No, here, I'll turn on share your screen. This is the pipeline. Look. Look, you state exactly what you want to accomplish. Measurable. Use a smaller mini goal to measure the progress, right? Achievable. You make your goal reasonable, right? So specific would be, you want to lose 10 pounds. Look, timely, give yourself time, but set a deadline, right? So you say 3 months. Or so specific would be more like, this is what it would be. Specific would say you want to lose weight. Realistic would say you want to lose 10 pounds. Or specific would maybe be you want to lose 30 pounds, and realistic would be you want to lose 10 pounds, I guess. These two can kind of overlap, I guess, in this framework. Or maybe these two you can kind of play off of each other, where specific and realistic, depending on your goal, can kind of be in tandem, where you can have a very specific goal, and as you get closer and you kind of can fall short, you can kind of come to the more realistic conclusion.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, so specific and achievable are kind of in tandem with one another.
A little bit, yeah. Oh, sorry, let me pull your stream back up.
It's flipped. Samert.
Smart. Do the same for the ones below, because timely is in center. That's triggering me.
Where do you want them?
In the middle, the same that you did for the SMART.
Make these?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
You're good.
Sorry, Excel Wizard. Lose weight.
You can shorten it a little bit.
Go here.
If I were you, Nolan, shorten the column A. Yeah, like to there. Yep. Relevant, set a goal that is relevant to your life. I mean, this one could literally just be like feel better.
It's like we were
You put
saying.
three T's. You put three T's, but yeah.
Mm,
This one has realistic, by the way, for SMART goals, and you put relevant. So some
they're
people,
all.
yeah, some people put realistic, some people put relevant. I like realistic more though.
Yep. Let's be realistic about it. I think at the end of the day, the whole point of your fitness journey is to feel better about your health and feel better just in general.
Yeah. I completely agree. I mean, you're gonna to mentally feel better, to physically feel better.
We
That is
all
the
we all
entire purpose.
we all struggle with a lot of things. I think David Goggins' book, where he talks about his life, is a good read. But one of the biggest things that I took away from it was you go, like, he was specifically talking about the gym. He said you go to the gym to lift heavy weights to deal with life's problems easier. You push yourself. So taking that like out of context in the broader theme of your fitness journey, you push yourself physically
To
and you
cope
do things
mentally.
that you enjoy to cope mentally and to
Yeah.
deal with problems easier, relieve more stress, do things that just help facilitate
We're we're we're
dealing with your
we're
life.
biologically rewarded. We are biologically rewarded to pick up heavy things and put them back down. It's
We have
insane.
copious amounts of biological pathways that are benefited from stress, putting stress on our body.
Yeah. Well, thanks for outlining smart. What are the other tabs in here? You have any ones you want to show?
No, they're not very fleshed out. I don't think I have anything in that.
No worries. That's a good place to start, though.
Something to talk about later for sure.
Yeah, we'll go tab by tab. I'll rename this video into like smart goals or something, and just to to conclude, um, the the funnel to start should a good funnel to start is smart goals, and from a couple people, it doesn't really take a whole lot of doesn't really take a whole lot of knowledge, or you don't have to be the strongest person or the most willed person to go and try and go in the gym. I knew nothing. I was a little kid. I maybe was 120 pounds, 5'3". I couldn't lift 10 pounds, a 10-pound dumbbell. I didn't know shit. It was 2012, and I was so nervous going into the gym and trying to lift weights, and I had I had acne. I was ugly inside and out. I was mean. I was a mean little kid since I was ugly. So I would just bully others, and it have you'll get so much self-improvement. You'll get a good look at yourself going into fitness. And I started to realize when I started training and I started realizing how insecure I was, and why I picked on others, why I was training. And some people would think, oh, when you got stronger, you use that to pick on others. The stronger I got, the less inclined I was to actually pick fights with people. It's like the stronger I got, the less I fought. It's funny. It's
The
like
the gentle giant trope.
it's no, it's a real thing. It's like the people who are the weakest people are the ones who seek fights, mentally and physically. The stronger you are mentally and physically, the less you actually want to fight anyone else. I mean, I completely I don't seek any altercations at all. It the outcome is a double negative in any case. You never win from it. It's a terrible feeling. And when I took a look inside and just found how this very neglected cradled sad boy who felt like he had no friends, and just felt so so ugly and alone, I really realized like what fitness could give, and just it's just another facet of self-improvement that for some reason people are taking as a negative thing. Like I've seen there's some parts of the internet, some parts of people in real life that are taking fitness as like a negative, or like they're portraying it in a negative light where it's you can either be fat shaming somebody, or it's kind of like a war against obesity or other things like that, when in reality fitness is just a personal journey where you are trying to improve yourself daily. And I hate the people who just try and say this person who is like, very obese, like is it's wrong to bully people who have those problems, cuz they themselves understand, is what I'll say. The young boy who I was, who was ugly and overweight, like I understood as well. So like I said, there's no competition in this race. So all anyone should try and do is uplift each other, not pull each other down and fight each other and try and like belittle each other into the gym. You should be trying to encourage each other and you know not do this weird like shame each other into like feeling horrible, because a lot of people have been tricked into obesity with all of this just like insanely processed food, and like the insane like dopamine feedback from like even like diet coke and stuff, like where it just will like signal, it'll signal um you wanting to eat like other sugars, and you'll never be satisfied. And fast food just completely, from a young age, these kids are basically being indoctrinated into obesity from
Yeah, that's how
school
they grew
lunch.
up. Their environment, all they know is
I mean, they have
eat
permanently,
food.
there's studies now showing kids basically have permanently raised like ghrelin and leptin, where they're just like they're all out of whack. They're permanently like hungry. They're like be permanently hungry or not hungry based on, like, this is something that can be triggered from childhood. So like kids who are starved as children can like go a long time without food, and kids who are like fed all the time as children will like permanently be like can basically be manipulated to be hungry all the time. And it's it's just uh it's just a sad reality that, I mean, just there's a bunch more research coming out now about like processed foods, and just like I see these kids just that are 80 or 90 pounds, like 3 foot 4, just absolute tanks walking through Walmart. I'm like, God, these parents don't give a shit. They're just feeding their kids. They keep stuffing them. It's like my dog with an auto feeder. They just keep feeding them whatever the hell they want.
Don't
And
stop.
no, they won't stop, because kids, they're 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 signaling basically does not work the same as adults yet. Their brains aren't fully functioned, and it'll translate into adulthood though. It'll never kick on, and then once obesity starts, it's a snowball. It's a snowball, and that is a hard snowball to stop. I mean, from there you have to pick that snowball up and carry it uphill. And a lot of adults do. It's not impossible, but I really our goal is to help educate and prevent it from ever happening. All the people out there, if this ever reaches and anyone's listening, if you are 80 pounds overweight, 100 pounds overweight, you are your problems are so minuscule. We can we can we can start getting you in the gym, and you can start training within a year. You'll be in the best shape of your life. You'll be feeling great. You'll be you will have dropped 60, 50 to 60 pounds immediately. You just have to get your diet dialed in and start training only 3 to 4 days a week. But there are people who are 300 pounds overweight, 350 pounds overweight, where they're unable to they're unable to walk. They have to do like waterbed exercises because their joints are so screwed. They literally are just unable to train even the smallest amount. Which that's the process which I am unable to fathom. Uh, they have to do gastric bypass or something, just to even get to the point where they can train. At that point, I don't even know what the quality of life is after, but it's better than what they're living. Sorry to end on a depressing note. Do you have anything to say, Nolan?
I think a lot of the things that you described at the end were stuff that we could break down in future videos, things that I definitely want to talk more about.
Yeah, we
There's
should we should
a lot of
reference.
things.
We should
Yeah,
just
just
create
ref.
different. We should create different training programs for different just different buckets. Just different buckets of um I guess different levels maybe. Different levels. Maybe some sort of like Google Sheets, or Google has the one thing where you can like say like your progress level, and then allow them to choose a protocol based on their progress level, and then basically cater a program designed to them based on their own inputs.
Yeah, great
Um,
idea.
what do you think? What do you think a reasonable amount for someone who is like, let's say Nolan, like a man who is 100 pounds overweight? Like if I was 100 pounds overweight, never trained before in my life, how much weight do you think is reasonable to lose in a year if I'm training like 4 or 5 days a week and I'm training hard? You think I can get down to a good physique in 1 year, assuming my
I'd,
diet's dialed in from day one?
yeah, but realistically, I'd say like I give it a month of trying to work on a new routine and getting on a new diet. Um,
Yeah.
and then, yeah, I'd say a year to lose 50, 40 to 50 pounds.
Yeah, it's tough.
It's very hard because a lot of the things in the fitness industry are geared towards results as quickly as possible, and it's very counterintuitive to upend your entire life and your environment and try to start fresh and keep that consistent for the rest of your life because um, those things in your life that you've held on to for so long have become habits, and habits are extremely difficult to break for most people, especially if you've been doing them for 30, 20, 30, 40 years and you don't even recognize them. Those things can detriment and be extremely large roadblocks to starting your fitness journey if you aren't self-aware enough to recognize them
You need to set up, yeah. I mean,
and break them
there's
down.
so many things. Nolan, you should set up a calculator. You should set up a calculator in that Excel sheet that can calculate like fat loss. Put in 3,500 calories a for a pound of fat. Just like a basic like caloric surplus and deficit calculator. Um, that basically will say like what your put in like calculate your basal metabolic rate, your and then you can just do a basic your caloric surplus, caloric deficit, and then how much weight you would gain or lose over a period of time if you ate this amount of calories. And then we could track like what in a year, like assuming you were on a caloric, what caloric deficit would a person have to be on to lose 50 pounds in a year? Here, wait. I can open that up and do it on stream. Can you share that? Is this on well-rounded communities, Nolan?
I shared the document with you. It's called Get Your Life Together.
Is it on well-rounded communities?
No, it's on my personal.
Can you share it with well-rounded communities?
Uh,
Thank you. I don't know how to I don't know how to title this. Calculator. I guess I should just say surplus deficit calculator. You could say surplus deficit is it basal? Yeah, I had it right. Basal metabolic rate. So let's say, your basal, say average, oops. Okay, average basal metabolic rate in calories for the average man. For men, it says 1662. All right. Better way to do. Probably start with calories in. Calories in. So if you start with 2,500 calories in, you have a basal metabolic rate. Be 838. The activity factor for okay, the multiply your BMR by 1.2. Okay. Let me oh my god. god.
Does that paint roller give it the same font?
Yeah, this is called format. This is this is so it'll do everything. So it'll change it to every single thing. So if you ever want something to be the exact same, bold, italics, borders, everything, it'll format it the exact same. So like for numbers the same. So it'll if you do two uh down to the exact T.
That's so convenient.
Yep.
I didn't even know that's a thing. Like change every column.
No.
No.
It's a huge waste of time.